What is up, guys? Emmanuel Jones here. We back in with another NFL prediction, and this time we'll be doing our Week 16 predictions for this season. So last week I went 9-7, which I did really good, and my overall record is 127-78, which that's pretty good. So yeah. So before I give you my Week 16 predictions, don't forget to put the thumbs up to like the video, subscribe to my channel for more options, and don't forget to comment down your opinion below to see who you think is going to get the win this week. So, yeah. But by the way, I chose the Jets to win 27-24, and they lost 19-3. So, by the way, we're going to get started with the rest of the games, because I know there's going to be some Saturday games on due to Christmas Day, because everybody's not going to be able to play Christmas Day, but some teams will. So let's get started. So we got the Buffalo Bills versus the Chicago Bears. Buffalo's favored by 8.5. Now we already know that the line is kind of a big spread, which some people think it is, some people think it don't. But I heard some people might take Chicago to cover. I don't know. But I just kind of feel like when you look at it, I think Buffalo, I got to take Buffalo in this game because Buffalo's just a more superior team, and they look like they're the best team in the league. And the Bears, they're definitely a bad team right now because I thought their defense played extremely well against the Eagles. I mean, they kept it close last week. Fields was playing okay. Offensively, they were moving the ball. But I think they're going to find a way to do it in this game because I think maybe Justin Fields makes a couple plays in this game. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. But I like the Bears to keep it closer because the Bills' defense, they have not been playing really good lately. They're starting to give up yards because we see them. They nearly lost to the Dolphins. They almost lost to Miami, though. So, which that was kind of intriguing to see. But I think the Bills' defense will play better this game. They have to challenge in this game. They have to challenge Justin Fields in that offense because the offense got to at least move the ball. Because the Bills are going to have to move the ball in Chicago because Chicago's defense sucks because they don't have a lot of good players that really can stop anybody. I don't know if they can. Especially, Buffalo has an elite offense with good weapons. They're going to find a way to dice up the Bears secondary, which is not as good. So yeah, and then they have a defense that can really demonstrate the line of scrimmage because we know the Bears' offensive line isn't good. So I got the Bills winning. I think they keep it a lot closer. I'd say 30-24, something like that, more like a 7-point game. So I'm going to take the Bills to win, but I'm just going to take the Bills to cover. I got the Bills both ways in this game. Next game, we have the New Orleans Saints versus the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland's favored by 3, and I called this a trap game for some reason because I heard one person saying that they might pick the Saints to win because the Browns defense, they don't really do a good job stopping the run because their run defense has been an issue. But their pass defense is okay. I thought their defense played a lot better against the Ravens. They defended the run really well, and they defended the pass okay. But when you look at it for the perspective, I kind of really feel like what's concerning about the Browns is their injury. Now, we know Nick Chubb might not play in the game. And we don't know if Myles Garrett will play. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. Who knows? Maybe Nick Chubb will play. Maybe he does, maybe he won't. We'll see. So the Browns got some injuries here. So I think the Browns might move the ball. I think they're going to stay in this game. But defensively, the Browns, if Myles Garrett doesn't play in this game, I think the Saints are going to move the ball really well on them, especially against Kamara in that rushing attack. I think they find a way to run the ball on them. So, yeah. So, I kind of really feel like that, that the Saints are gonna like find a way to move the ball, and I feel like they're better at stopping the run. So I think the Saints defensive line is gonna like give the Browns offense some issues, and I think they could though. I don't know because Watson has not been he's been inconsistent. He hasn't been good against pressure lately. So maybe the Saints can take advantage of that. But if this game is in New Orleans, I might lean towards the Saints. But since it's in Cleveland, I'm going to take the Browns because I just think the Browns have the Browns have a better quarterback. They have a better coaching staff, and they're at home. So yeah, and I just think they're just a more complete team. So yeah. So I don't really know if the Saints really have any scary weapons though, because I feel like the Saints are probably going to be without Jarvis Landry. So I don't really think the Saints have a lot of weapons on offense. Is going to at least pick apart that Browns defense. I think the Browns defense is going to challenge them. So I think it's going to be a little bit of a low scoring game, like 20-17, something like that. So I'm going to take I like the points though with the Saints. I think the Saints are going to keep it close. They will stay in the game, but yeah, so I'm going to take the Saints to cover, but I'm going to take the Browns to win the game. Next game, we have the Houston Texans versus the Tennessee Titans. Titans is favored by -3. Now, we already heard the news that Tannehill might not play again this season, which that's kind of like a big deal and all that. Now, we know where they're putting in Malik Willis. Now, last time when Malik Willis played, he didn't really play as good against the Chiefs. Because, he only had they couldn't really pass the ball as well. So, yeah, while the Texans, the Texans really showed a lot of fight against Houston. The Texans showed a lot of fight against the Chiefs. I thought they ran the ball well. They passed the ball really good. I thought their defense played outstanding. So Texans did stay in that game though, which they should have at least won. Which they should have at least won 2 straight games because they played really well. But I would like Houston to stay in this game because Houston's defense is playing outstanding right now. They're not giving up yards offensively. They're moving the ball effectively. I think they will do it in this game. So yeah, but I think that Tennessee is going to give the Texans a challenge in this game. And I just don't think the Texans match up well with the Titans really good. So I'm taking the Titans to win this game. Doesn't matter if Tannehill plays or not. So I'm taking Titans to win because they're at home. There's the more complete team. They have a better coaching staff. So yeah. I'm going to take the Titans to win. But I'm not taking the Titans to cover. I'm giving the points with Houston. I think Houston will cover this game. Maybe I say the Titans win by a touchdown or a field goal, something like that. I think it will be a lower scoring game like it was last time. So yeah. So I got the Titans to win, but I got the Texans to cover. Next game, we have the Seattle Seahawks versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs is favored by -10. Now, I believe this game right here is going to be fun to watch, but I kind of don't really like how the Chiefs defense is playing. I mean, we've seen the Chiefs defense. They almost lost to the Texans. They almost lost to the worst team in the league. But here's the thing. In overtime, they was able to at least go through a game-winning drive. But I think that the Chiefs defense is an issue, and I think Seattle's defense has been an issue. I think this game could be an offensive game because I think Seattle is going to move the ball on them, and I think they're going to run the ball on him and dictate pace, and I think Kansas City is going to do the same thing too because both of their defenses are a little sketchy, but their offenses are just fine. I like to say the Chiefs' offense is just more explosive because I don't think Seattle's offense is a lot explosive as it used to be. It's just okay. But I would like Seattle to stay in this game, and I like it to be close this time. But I'm going to take the Chiefs because they're at home. They have a better quarterback, better coaching staff, and I just think they're just a more complete team right now. I just don't like how Seattle's playing right now. They're on a 2-game losing streak right now. Offensively, they weren't playing as good. Defensively, they weren't playing as good. So but I think Seattle's going to keep it close in this game. I think they'll probably score like 27 plus points, maybe 20 plus points in this game. Who knows? But I think it will be close. I think Kansas City is going to win by a field goal. But I feel like 10 is a lot of points. So I'm going to take Seattle to at least cover this game to keep it close. Maybe I say Chiefs win like 30-27, something like that. So, yeah. So, I'm going to take Seattle to cover, but I'm going to take the Chiefs to win the game. To stay in race for that number 1 seed. All right, next game. We have the New York Giants versus the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings is favored by -4. Now, in this game right here, I kind of really feel like this game can definitely lean towards the C. It's going to be fun to watch because last week, the Vikings weren't looking as good against the Colts. I mean, that was like in the first half, but the second half was okay. I thought they really did what they needed to do in the second half. Like, they showed some fight, and then, the first half was like the worst, and then the second half was kind of the best, but they got into overtime. Minnesota didn't really move the ball as much because they were some pumped. They caused some turnovers and all that on consecutive drives. But I think Minnesota, like, if they're going to be able to at least like win this game and get an early lead, they're going to have to at least like protect the ball on early downs and do that on consecutive drives to create play action. Because the Vikings defense is playing outstanding right now, but it didn't play as great, but it played okay. While the Giants, the Giants did a good job against Washington. I thought the defense played outstanding. And plus, offensively, they're starting to move the ball really well. But I just don't really like the matchup for the Giants because the Giants' offensive line is not as good. Like they can't really protect long enough. And Minnesota's pass rush is very solid. So I think maybe they have a chance to take advantage of that. And then they have a secondary that can play some man coverage. So, and plus, I don't think the Giants really have a lot of weapons on offense that really scare you. Like, I don't think they do. I think the Vikings defense is gonna give them a lot of. I think the Vikings defense is gonna give them a tough time here. So yeah, I think they will. So, and plus, I just don't think the Giants have a secondary though, because I don't think their secondary is good. I don't think they really have any corners that can really play man coverage. I think the Vikings offense is gonna move the ball effectively, especially Justin Jefferson and Thielen is gonna be tough to cover. So yeah. And plus, Giants have not been really good at stopping the run that much. Maybe Minnesota run, maybe Dalvin Cook has a good game here. So yeah, so I'm going to take the Vikings because they're at home, and I just think they're a more complete team, and also they have a better quarterback as well. So, yeah, so I'm going to take the Vikings to win, but give me the points with the Giants. I think the Giants do keep it close in this game. I think it will be competitive because I think the Giants are going to move the ball, and I think they're going to possess the line of scrimmage and all that. So, yeah, so by the way, give me the Giants to cover. I'm gonna say maybe the score can be like 27-20. Maybe I say Minnesota wins by a touchdown or something. But I'm gonna take the Giants to cover, but I'm gonna take the Vikings to win the game. All right, next game we have the Cincinnati Bengals versus the New England Patriots. Cincy's favored by -3. In this game right here, this can go either way though, because here's the thing. New England looks like they're fighting for a playoff spot, and Cincinnati seemed like they clinched a playoff berth. So yeah, but I kind of really like the matchup for this game because I think New England, I think New England's defense is very solid, and I think they can really give the Bengals offense a tough time though. But here's the thing. I think New England's going to move the ball on them. They're going to pass the ball really well. So, yeah, I think they will do in this game. But I just don't really like how Mac Jones is playing right now. Because I heard a lot of people saying that Mac Jones can definitely be the worst quarterback because the offensive line can't really protect him long enough. But here's the thing. Now, Cincinnati is dealing with some injuries, but if they get some of their defensive players back, I might pick the Bengals to win. But if they don't get some of their defensive players back, then I'll go with the Patrons here. Because I think the Patrons have a chance to win this game, to pull off an upset. Because I think offensively, I think they can find a way to move the ball on the Bengals. And especially they have a good receiving core as well. So maybe the Patrons offense moves the ball really well. And I think their defense is gonna keep them in the game as well, because their defense is playing solid football right now. So yeah. So maybe the Patrons defense can make this Bengals offense look one-dimensional though. Maybe they can though. But I think the Bengals defense is a lot better, because I think they're gonna give the Patrons offense a tough time and maybe cause some mistakes in this game. But I think their secondary, if they get some of their players back in the secondary, I think they can play some man coverage and handle business, though. I mean, I understand this game's in New England, and that's kind of a team where, Bill Belichick usually owns, but this is a different Bengals team that Belichick is facing. So I'm taking the Bengals to win this game because they're just a more complete team, and they just have the better quarterback. Look, I just think Joe Burrow is a better quarterback than Mac Jones, in my opinion. So, yeah. Mac Jones didn't really play his best last week, but they almost won the game. But here's the thing. If the Patriots can make you one-dimensional, then they can really turn into a good defense to a good defense. But if they can defend the run, then that kind of opens up some space in the passing game where the Patriots can probably at least turn to a good defense, but not a great defense. So I'm going to take the Bengals to win this game by maybe a touchdown or something like that. But I'm taking the points with the Patriots. I think the Patriots are going to cover this game. I think they keep it competitive though. So maybe I say maybe they win by let's see. Maybe they win by 2, maybe they win by 7. I'm going to say maybe 24-17, something like that. So, yeah. So, I'm going to take the Bengals to I'm going to take the Patriots to cover, but give me the Bengals to get this win here. But here's the thing. If New England wins this game, then they have a chance to get their playoff hopes alive. But that can definitely change my mind, though. But I'm just taking Cincinnati because they're just a better team. So we got next game. We have the Detroit Lions versus the Carolina Panthers. Detroit's favored by 2.5. I think this game right here could definitely go either way, though. Now, the Panthers can definitely fight for a playoff spot because we know they lost 9 games. And the Lions are looking to fight for a playoff spot. But here's the thing. If Detroit wins out straight, then they're going to probably make the playoffs. So, yeah. But I like how the way Detroit's playing right now. Detroit's playing some decent football right now. Offensively, they're starting to move the ball on consecutive drives. Jared Goff is playing really well. He's making some big plays when he needs to. Defensively, they're playing really well. They don't really allow you to run them over. I like how the way their defense is playing. I just kind of feel like the Lions got some underrated talent on both sides of the ball. So, yeah. So, I'm probably going to – I want to take Carolina to win since they're at home, but I'm taking the Lions because I just think the Lions are just playing better football right now. And also, I just think the Lions are just a better team. And I just think they have a better coach. So, yeah. I just think the Lions coaching is better. And, Detroit, they're finding ways to win as well. So, yeah. But it's hard to say who's the better quarterback because I think Jared Goff, he's not as good, but he's okay. Sam Darnold is like the same thing. But I think Carolina's going to stay in this game a little bit. But I don't know. Maybe they do stay in this game a little bit. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. But the Panthers' pass rush could be a difference maker. Because and the Lions have a good offensive line. So I think the Lions' offensive line is going to give the Panthers' defense a lot of problems. And plus, the Panthers don't have a good offensive line, so maybe the Lions' defensive line caused some trouble. And I think that that Aiden Hutchinson, he's gonna like find a way to at least like penetrate this offensive line for the Panthers. So yeah. So by the way, I'm gonna say to keep it close. Maybe I say like 27. I'm gonna say like 23-17, something like that, or like 24-17. I don't really know, but I'm taking the Lions to win. But I'm just gonna take the Lions to cover. So yeah. Next game, we have the Atlanta Falcons versus the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore's favored by 7.5. Now, both these two teams are playing against backup quarterbacks because I heard that Lamar is ruled out again this week because he's still hurt. So yeah, I mean we get it. He's still injured, but I know he's injured. But I really don't care. But I got the Ravens in this game. I mean, the Ravens are just the better team, and they have more to play for. I mean, the Falcons don't got more to play for because they're not going to make the playoffs, though. Like I feel like Atlanta's definitely gonna be last place in the division. So yeah, and while Ravens, they could be training to get first place. I don't know. I didn't really like how the way the Ravens played last week. Offensively, they couldn't really move the ball. Defensively, they were playing really good, but they didn't really play fantastic like in the fourth quarter. So I think the Ravens defense does give the Falcons offense a challenge, especially a rookie on the road against a good defense. That's going to be tough to deal with. And on top of that, I just don't really think that Atlanta really has a lot of weapons on offense that really scare you. Because the Ravens, some of their corners, like, they're not going to be scared of Drake London running past Marlon Hunt, running past them because the Ravens can get in coverage really good. And plus, their pass rush is very solid. So I think they can handle business because the Falcons' offensive line sucks. So I think Atlanta's probably going to stay in this game. I think it's going to be a little bit of a low-scoring game. Maybe I'd say like 17-13, something like that. So I'm going to take the Ravens to win, but I'm going to take the Falcons to cover. Now, I know 7.5 is a big spread. So, yeah, I'm going with that. I'm taking the points, though. So, because I know 7 is a lot. So, yeah. So, give me the Falcons to cover and the Ravens to win the game. Next game, we have the Washington Commanders versus the San Francisco 49ers. San Fran's favored by -7. Now, this is almost a big spread right here. Now, this can definitely go either way because both these two teams have a great defense and a great offense. Now, they're both playing backup quarterbacks to each other. Now, that could definitely be a challenge, though. Now, I remember last time when these two teams played, Washington beat them in San Francisco. So, yeah. But this is a different Niners team. Now, the Niners have Now, Brock Purdy is playing really good football right now. He's making some big plays when he needs to. He's not turning the ball over on consecutive drives. I mean, they're starting to do that. I mean, I thought the Niners defense, they're starting to play better every week. Offense, they're starting to play as better. Now, Commanders are the same way too. I mean, they didn't really play well against in the fourth quarter. They didn't really play as good because the offense couldn't move the ball. Defensively, they were playing better, though. But I think it's going to be closer, though, because I think Washington is going to move the ball, and I think their defense is gonna give Brock Purdy some problems here. So, yeah. But I just don't really think the Niners can match up. I don't think Washington matches well with the Niners really good because the Niners have a dominant pass rush, and I think they can penetrate and take care of business, though, because I don't think Washington's offensive line is as good as the Niners, because I think the Niners have a better offensive line. I think they're better at pass blocking, and I just don't really know if Washington has a good secondary to like stop the Niners offense, because I just don't really know if the Washington is going to be able to defend those guys, because Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, and Brandon Ayuk and CMC. Those guys are tough to cover, but I forgot about Deebo Samuel. He's not playing this game, but I still think the Niners can still move the ball and all that. So yeah, but I think it will be close in this game though. But if Washington, if they're gonna find a way to at least score and get a win this game, they have to be successful on early downs. Like you can't really be in those second and longs. You can't be in those third and longs. You can't be in those third and eights. Because if you do that, because if you are, then that gives the Niners a chance. So I'm taking the 49ers to win this game because they're just a more complete team. They have a better coaching staff. They're at home. So I'm gonna take the Niners to win, but I'm gonna take the points because seven is just too many points. Because I'm taking them to I'm taking the points though with Washington because I think Washington's gonna cover this game. I think they keep it close in this game. I think they stay competitive and hang around this game. So yeah. So by the way, I'm taking Washington to cover, but I'm gonna take the Niners to win this game right here so they can get on a roll in the winning streak. Now here's the thing: if Washington loses out, then they definitely miss the playoffs. But if they lose this game and probably win next two games, okay, let's say maybe they make the playoffs. So yeah. Next game we have the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas is favored by 5. Now the reason why it's saying that Dallas is favored in this game because Jalen Hurts, he's not going to be playing this game. Now, which they're starting Gardner Minshew, which that's going to be a challenge. But when I look at it, I just don't really like how Dallas is playing right now. Offensively, they're Dak Prescott, he's turned the ball over on consecutive drives. And, defensively, they played okay. They didn't play their best, though, in the fourth quarter because it got into overtime. So yeah, so offensively, I feel like they're not really doing as well enough. So yeah, maybe the Eagles defense can take advantage in this game. Maybe they do, but I just kind of feel like the Cowboys on defense matches up well with the Eagles because Dallas has a good pass rush, and I think they can find a way to slow down the running game. And I think their secondary is solid though. But they're gonna have to find a way to at least cover the Eagles' passing game because if they don't, because if they're playing 1-on-1 on defense, then Dallas might get ran over. So yeah, that's gonna be a challenge in this game. So yeah, but I think Dallas does protect the ball better, and I think they run the ball better as well. But I think Philly's gonna stay in this game though because I think they're gonna move the ball on them as well. But I'm going to take the Cowboys to win this game because I think Dallas is going to split the season series like they always do. Now, I remember last year they beat them twice, but this year I think they're going to split with them because Dallas, sense of urgency is for them, and they got more to play for this game because they're already in the playoffs. So, yeah. And plus, they're more stable with the quarterback position as well. So yeah, and I think the offense can move the ball in the Eagles as well because sometimes the Eagles defense don't play as good. So yeah, so I'm gonna take the Cowboys to win it. I think it will be close, but I'm taking the Cowboys to win this game. But give me the points with the Eagles. I think the Eagles do keep it close in this game. I think they stay in this game and keep competitive. But maybe I say this score can be 27 to 23 or 27-20, something like that. So yeah, so. I'm going to take the Cowboys. I'm going to take Philly to cover. Now, here's the thing. Now, if the Eagles, if they win this game, they might get that 1 seed, which that's going to be challenging. I'm going to take the Eagles to cover, but I'm going to take the Cowboys to win this game. All right, next game, we have the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers is favored by 2.5. Now, I call this a trap game for some reason because I feel like this game can definitely go either way. Now, earlier in the week, I wanted to pick the Raiders to win, But I just heard about Franco Harris that has passed away. I mean, that kind of made me want to change my mind on who I want to pick. But since Franco Harris passed away, I might roll the Steelers. I don't know. This is a tough one, though, but I didn't really know who to pick. But I think Pittsburgh can match up well with the Raiders on paper really good. Because I think Pittsburgh has a dominant pass rush. I think they can get after the quarterback. And defensively, they're very solid. I think they find a way to stop the run in this game, which their defense has been really playing really well. Offensively, they're starting to move the ball as well. And plus, I think they're going to do that against the Raiders because the Raiders' defense is not as good. Like, they can't really stop the run. Like, they're not good at stopping the pass as well because their pass defense has been really weak. But I kind of like the ending where the Raiders, had that touchdown. But I understand the Raiders have a better quarterback, and I know they have a better passing offense. But I'm gonna probably take the Steelers to win because of to honor the death of Franco Harris, because the Steelers are at home, and I just think their pass rush finds a way to at least like slow down the run and like get after the quarterback. And I think they're gonna have a game plan for the Raiders receivers, maybe for Devontae Adams, and probably like force Derek Carr to throw the ball somewhere else. So yeah, so I think it will be a lower scoring game, like maybe I said like 20-16, but I'm gonna say it will be closer in this game. But I'm gonna take the Steelers to win, but I'm gonna take the 2.5. I'm taking the points though with the Raiders because I think the Raiders are gonna cover this game to keep it close and competitive. So yeah, so give me the Raiders to cover, but give me the Steelers to win the game. And that can definitely keep their playoff hopes alive. Now, if the Raiders win this game, they definitely keep their playoff hopes alive. So if one of these two teams win out, they definitely could be in the playoff. Which I don't really know if it matters, though. Because anybody with like 9 games can definitely miss out. And one with 9 games can probably make it. Which that's simple. All right, next game we have the Green Bay Packers versus the Miami Dolphins. Miami's favored by -4. Now, I called it a trap game for some reason because this game can definitely go either way. Because here's the thing. I don't like how the way the Dolphins are playing right now. I kind of don't have trust in them because how the way they're on a losing streak and how the way they've been losing, I mean, it's been bad for them. And Green Bay's playing solid football right now. I like how the way the offense is playing. Defensively, they're playing really well. But here's the thing. I really feel like that Green Bay could definitely have the edge here. Like one of these two teams can win this game. But I just kind of feel like the Dolphins don't match up well with the Packers really good. Because here's the thing. The Dolphins' defense is not as good as it is. Like, they don't really defend the pass well. They can't defend the run as well. So maybe the the Packers find a way to move the ball on them, and I think they can pass the ball on them. So yeah, I think Green Bay is gonna find a way to move the ball on them on consecutive drives to open up play action. And plus, I think Green Bay's defense matches up well with the Dolphins because I think Green Bay's defense, I think they can find a way to defend their run. Maybe they slow down their running game, and I think their secondary can handle business. So maybe I say Jaire Alexander can cover Tyreek Hill, and maybe like one other corner like Eric Stokes can maybe cover Jalen Waddle, and then maybe either their safeties can cover Mike Gesicki. So I think Green Bay is going to have a game plan on defense. Like, I think they're going to have a game plan for Tyreek Hill, and I think they're going to force Tua to throw the ball somewhere else. Because if they do, then they'll be able to put Tua under pressure without having to blitz. Like, defense sometimes don't do a good job blitzing Tua because Tua, he's been good against the blitz, and he's been good against pressure. So, yeah. But I think this game right here is going to be closer than we expected. But I want to go with the Dolphins here since they're at home and they're fighting for the playoffs, and Green Bay may not. But I'm probably going to take the upset here. I know I'm probably going to take I think I'm going to take the Packers to win this game. I know that's strange, but I have a feeling that I'm taking the Packers to win this game because I kind of feel like Green Bay needs this win if they want to like stay in the playoff hunt. Like if they want to keep their playoff hopes alive, because if they don't win this game, then their season's over. So yeah, so I feel like Green Bay is gonna need this win here if they want to keep their playoff hopes alive. So yeah. So I'm gonna say it will be a closer game, but I think it might be a little bit of a high scoring game. I don't know. But I'm gonna take the Packers to win the game. But give me the points with Miami. I think Miami. I think they do keep it close because I think Miami's gonna stay in the game because they was able to stay in the game against the Bills last week, which that's good. But I'm gonna take the Dolphins. I'm gonna say maybe a 1 point game, like maybe Green Bay wins like 27-26, something like that, like somewhere in that range. So I'm gonna take the Packers to cover. I'm gonna take the Dolphins to cover, but I'm gonna take the Packers to win the game. All right, next game we have the Denver Broncos versus the LA Rams. Denver's favored by 2.5. Now I kind of really feel like that lots of people are probably not gonna be able to watch this game because a lot of people is gonna think that this game will suck because both these two teams are not as good and they're out of playoff contention. But when I look at it, I think the Rams and Broncos kind of look similar to each other. I think their defenses are the same, but their offensive lines are a little sketchy. But I don't know. They don't really have a good offensive line. Now, Russell Wilson, if he plays this game, I might go with the Broncos. But if he doesn't, I'm probably going to take the Rams. Even if he does play, I don't think it matters, though, because I don't think the Broncos coaching is as good as it is. But I like to say it's kind of strange to say that Rams got better coaching in this game. So I kind of have a feeling that I'm probably going to take the Rams in this game because I just kind of really feel like the Rams got better coaching. And even if Aaron Donald doesn't play, I don't think it matters. But I heard the news saying that he's not going to play for the rest of the year. So, which that's huge for them. But, I think their secondary can find a way to defend the pass very well. I think they can handle business. And I think the Broncos can too. But I kind of really think it's going to be a little bit of a defensive game because some of their offenses can't really score a lot of points. Like Denver last week against the Cardinals, they was able to put up 24 points on the Cardinals. They was able to do that in this game. But I think it's going to be – I think this game will be ugly. Like, it won't be pretty. Like, I'm going to say, like, 17-16, something like that, more like a 1-point game. So, I'm probably going to take the Rams to win, but I'm going to take the Broncos to cover to keep this close because I think Denver will stay in this game. I think both defenses are going to stay in the game as well. But, yeah, so I'm going to take the Broncos to cover, but give me the Rams to win the game. Next game, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Arizona Cardinals. Tampa Bay is favored by -7.5. Now, this is almost a big spread here. Now, I don't really like how the way Tampa Bay played last week. I thought Tampa Bay played really well in this game. Played really well last week against the Bengals. Because I was thinking they was going to win, but they didn't really do it, though. Because I thought defensively they played really well against the Bengals. Offensively, they wasn't looking as good, but they looked good in the first half, but the second half was not as good because, they was turning the ball over on 5 consecutive drives and getting so many 3s and outs. So, yeah. And they're taking too many penalties and all that. So, yeah. But here's the thing. I think this game right here is definitely could be a low-scoring game. I think Tampa Bay is probably going to, score, I think they're probably going to score, 20-plus points because they was able to do that last week on the Bengals, but they still didn't win the game. But I think their secondary is going to be able to match up well. I think they can match up well with the Cardinals really good. I think they'll find their matchups, and I think they'll handle business. But I think they're going to have to put up a game plan for DeAndre Hopkins and force Colt McCoy to throw the ball somewhere else. While offensively, Arizona can't really move the ball against tough defenses. And I think the Bucs defense finds a way to get pressure. I think they find a way to at least force some turnovers in this game. So yeah, and I think the offense is going to be able to move the ball, especially against a bad secondary like the Cardinals. Because I think Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Julio will be tough to cover. I think Brady's going to have some time, and I think he probably like throw for at least like 300 plus yards, or because he was able to do that against the Bengals and they still didn't win. So I think the Bucs get back on track this week. Coming off 2 losses is going to make them extra motivated. So I'm taking the Bucs to win because the Bucs are just a better team. They have a better quarterback and better coaching staff. I just kind of really feel like Tampa Bay needs to win this game if they want to like stay in the hunt. So yeah, if they want to like win the division, because if Tampa Bay wins out, if the Bucs win out, then if they might win the division. So I'm just taking them to win so that way they can stay in the playoff hunt. So that way they can take control of first place in the division. But I don't think the Cardinals are going to be able to keep up with Tampa Bay. But if Tampa Bay gets up early, maybe they can blow them out, but I would not be shocked if that happened. So maybe I say the Bucs win like 24-16, something like that. So yeah, so I got the Bucs both ways. I got the Bucs to win and the Bucs to cover. And hopefully Tom Brady has a good night on that game. Then last game we have the LA Chargers versus the Indianapolis Colts. Chargers is favored by 4.5. Now I'm gonna keep this one a little bit short. Now we already know in this game that the Chargers, so now we already know the Chargers, they didn't really look as good against the Titans despite the win. Defensively, they're starting to play better though. They're getting better on defense, but they haven't really stopped the run as much. But they're playing better against the run. They're playing better against the pass, but not all the way. And Herbert's ball playing his best football. While the Colts, they didn't really look pretty good against. While the Colts, they really showed a lot of fight against Minnesota because they had the lead in the halftime. I thought defensively they played really well. Offensively, they were playing as good until overtime, which the Colts would have at least won that game. But the sad news is that Jonathan Taylor's out for the season, so that's huge for them. Which I don't really know if the Colts are going to be able to run the ball on them as much, but I think they're going to move the ball on them as. I think they're going to move the ball on them as well. I think they stay in this game. But the thing is that Indianapolis, like, I just don't think they have some scary receivers, I don't think the Chargers secondary is going to be afraid of Michael Pittman running past them because Michael Pittman, he's really not a good number 1 wide receiver. He's just a guy. Like, he's just a young player, though. And, Matt Ryan, he's not good against great defenses. And, they can't – and the Colts can't really pass the ball really well. But the Chargers can, though. Because the Chargers because the Colts defense is pretty good. I think they can give the Chargers offense some issues. But I just kind of feel like the Chargers offense is going to move the ball on them as well. Because sometimes the Colts defense don't play as good. But I just kind of really feel like that the Chargers have a better defense in this game. I think they're going to give Matt Ryan some issues. And I think they're going to control the clock in this game. And I think they're going to move the ball as well. So, yeah, and I just think they have a better receiving core as well. So, I know this game's in Indy, but I'm taking the Chargers here because they got more to play for, and, the Colts don't because I heard they got eliminated from playoff contention. So, I got to take the Chargers in this game because the Chargers are the more complete team. They have the better quarterback, better coaching staff. There's the more complete team. So, yeah. So, I got the Chargers to win. But I'm going to take the 4.5 points. Give me the points with Indy. I think Indy's going to stay in this game to keep it close. So, yeah. So, I'm going to say maybe the score can be like 23-20, something like that. So, yeah. Somewhere in that range. So, give me the Chargers. So, yeah, I think Indy's going to move the ball on them to stay in this game. I think the Chargers, might find a way to take the lead. But here's the thing. If the Chargers, if they get up early, they might blow the Colts out. So, yeah. So, I'm going to take the Colts to cover. but I'm going to take the Chargers to win the game. Well, all right, guys. Those are all my Week 16 picks for this week. Hope you guys enjoy watching. And also, I really can't wait to enjoy this Christmas weekend. I get to spend time with my family and go some Christmas shopping. And then, I can't wait to see all the games, this weekend and all that. But, I'm probably not going to be able to watch the first game on Christmas Day because, I'll probably be at church. Like, who knows? But if I get home in time, I might be able to see the Packers and Dolphins game. So, yeah. But I don't know if I'm going to watch the Broncos and Rams game because we know this game's going to suck. And, I'm looking forward to this Christmas weekend and all that, to spend time with my family, go to church and all that. So, yeah. So, I hope you guys enjoy watching. I mean, if you disagree with me, just let me know in the comments section below what you think. Well, is Emmanuel Jones a big fan? Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys later. Peace.